Hey, how we doing today? Mike Rezo from Remax here in Santa Clarita. Hope you're having a great day. Wanted to spend a couple of minutes and go over the two new forms pertaining to buyer representation. So we are officially required to start using buyer broker contracts. They've always been around. They haven't been very popular in California. They were very popular back east. But California has never really used the buyer broker agreements as a traditional way of doing business. But now we're required. So we have two new forms. And they're both great. They provide completely different things. The small form, I'll call it the short form, is almost like a dating form. So we're gonna go on a date. You and I are gonna have a conversation. We're gonna look at up to 3 properties. So we'll reach out, we'll make an appointment for, let's say, Saturday at 10 o'clock, and we'll look at 1, 2, or 3 properties. Before heading out and looking at those 3 homes, we will sign one form that says, here's the 3 addresses, one on Apple Street, one on Cherry Street, and one on Oak Meadow. And we will sign that form that says you are aware that Mike Rezo, Remax of Santa Clarita, is going to get compensated. We're going to get a commission. That commission fee that we will charge on most contracts is 2.5% of the purchase price. We will, when we find that perfect house for you, let's say it's the one on Oak Meadow, we will draft a purchase contract and ask the seller to pay that compensation so that you're off the hook. If the seller decides not to pay that 2.5%, and let's say they say we're only paying 2.25, then you and I will go back and negotiate, and most likely we'll just sign off on it so we can get you your home at that reduced commission rate and get that escrow closed. The second contract, actually let me take one step back. So that contract is valid for 30 days on those, specifically on only those 3 properties. The longer contract, called the BRBC, that contract is valid for 90 days. More like a long-term, if you will, where it gives us the chance to look at as many properties as we want at the drop of a hat. So we can go look at 3 properties today and 3 properties tomorrow and 3 properties the next day and so on and so forth until we find that perfect home. And we don't need to keep re-signing a new form prior to entering any property. And again, that contract is a 90-day expiration. That has the exact same clause in there that says you are aware the buyer or the seller is going to pay Remax 2.5% compensation. We'll do the exact same thing. We'll draft the offer. We'll ask the seller to pay that compensation. If they decide to pay it, which right now, as of today's date, most sellers are still paying it. Nothing has really changed. But in the event the seller says, hey, you know, I'm not comfortable paying 2.5%. Maybe their house was priced at $900,000 and we wrote an offer for $875 and asked for some closing costs or whatever it was. And at the end of the day, the seller's net was less than what they wanted. And they said, hey, I'm not paying all this. I'm not doing the closing costs and the reduction price and the buyer broker compensation. I'm only doing 2.25 or 2% or whatever it is. Then we'll go back and figure out. We have a lot of different options. We can just agree to reduce the commission. We can inflate the sales price slightly, or we can add that to your closing costs along with all the other things that you're paying for. So at the end of the day, we're here to make sure that you're happy and that we find you the perfect home. So we have a short form up to 3 properties, and we have the long form, which gives us complete flexibility to go look at as many properties as we want over the next 90 days. So I hope that answers at least a few of your questions regarding the new forms that are out and broker compensation. I'm always available, so if you have questions or something this short video didn't answer, please let me know. We're here to help you. 661-212-9900, 661-212-9900. Have a wonderful day, and let's go house shopping. Talk soon. Thanks.